Hey guys, I'm Pavel from the World of Myths team, here with Vladimir RoanFx, one of our champions from the recent tournament that we had here in Sofia. We have already commented the semi-final match. You can find a link in the description below, and now it's time for the big final. Spoiler alert, Vladi won. So anyway, for the semifinals, we had Vladi playing with Hachiman against Norse with Odin, and for the final we again have Vladi with Hachiman playing against another Norse player, Teodor, JiNn. So yeah, if you want to learn more about the tournament, again, you will find the link in the description. So without further ado, this time we will watch the game from Vladi's perspective. So again, I hope that it will be easier for him to comment. If you are new to the game, please just first go and watch the introduction videos, because you will probably not understand many of the things that are going. So are you ready to watch your final game? Okay, let's do it. So you have a not so good opening hand, too many expensive cards and too many spells, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just getting rid of the board wipe because it's too soon in the game. I just saved the Pilgrim of the Dawn because he's a really good card to have in the opening hand.
Yeah.
And I was looking for a cheap unit, but I didn't get one. But I'm glad I get the removal spell here.
Yeah, always nice to have it from the start of the game. Yeah, I think both players did really well during the tournament, and they both deserved their place at the final. So let's see how that goes. Yeah, it was really nice game. During their play, I was with the other player, Teodor, JiNn, and I was watching the game from his side, so it's interesting for me to watch it now from your side and see what cards did you have. So again, we are seeing the same tactic as in the previous game. Just summon your leaders for the first rounds and try to put pressure with him. But yeah, that's why the second player, you are the second player in this game, starts with a unit that you can sacrifice.
Yeah. And that's what we spoke in the last game. The bug.
Yeah. The bug that Damusko, when you the Damusko spell draws you a samurai from your deck and reduce its cost by 1. And the bug is that currently he has the Fate, but he cannot play that card, which is something that we have already fixed, or not. Yeah, we didn't have time to fix it by the time we are doing this recording. Okay, so I think that you are trying to...
Yeah, as in the beginning I didn't have anything to buff with my buffer here, and he started buffing himself. So at this point I decided to get him some more endurance so he can stay on the battlefield longer. Maybe he can snowball, or maybe I can get a unit that's stronger than him on the battlefield. But
he played the Seductive Hydra, which just kills the weakest enemy unit. And yeah, that's the deal with the Norse. They have a lot of removals, and yeah. But at the end of the day, you're the winner, so. Do you remember how many Norse players did you meet?
Every person that I met was a Norse player.
Okay, so you haven't played with anything else, just Norse?
Yeah, just Norse.
Okay, so you already know all their cards.
Yeah, and there were like the masses, there were like a lot more Norse players than anything else.
Yeah. I think that with all the pop culture now, with all the movies and stuff, they have a lot of supporters.
Yep, here again I tempted him to block and clear his board. And if he didn't, I would have gotten 1 endurance for the samurai, which is actually pretty good card for a 3-drop.
Yeah, it is, but it has just 1 endurance. So.
Yeah. And that's the Viking I'm trying to remove
Yeah.
with the Wolf's Bane. Like, this is the card I always look for with the Wolf's Bane.
And again, you're doing the same thing as the previous game. Yeah, waiting for it. Okay, nice. Let's see, what would you do now?
Yeah, I'm just getting my God, so I can attack to get more endurance on the samurai, because as we mentioned, he has only 1 endurance.
Yeah.
And I think the attack goes, because he was no fate left.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's also a nice card.
Yeah, most of the cards have effects. They're not like vanilla cards with just stats. And he played Tempting Svala to draw a card, and
he played what he drew.
Yeah, the Viking, the vanilla Viking. And yeah, you have a lot of options here for cards to play.
Yeah, he has a weak unit that's going to become 0. So placing it on the left side so I can get the bonus from the Spear Ashigaru.
Yeah.
And just sacrificing him so I can get more endurance, I think, for my samurai.
You're really considering if you want to get the endurance or something else.
Yeah, because here if I attack, I'm going to kill the tower.
Yeah, and you don't want to kill it.
Yeah, but in the end of the day, I decided I needed endurance.
Yeah. Cool.
Here, my tactic was get the samurai to as much endurance as I can, so then the samurai can attack the left tower, which is the attack tower, so I can buff my spider, because it has 3 endurance, and if it gets like a couple of attack, it's just going to be a wrecking ball for a lot of turns.
Yeah, you both have a lot of cards in hand, a lot of options. You're I think the main reason for that is that the first cards you drew were too expensive to play, and yeah. But again, we see the same tactic. Instead of using Odin's ability by attacking with 2 units, Odin is on the board and participating himself. Okay, he wants to restore the power of his Viking.
So I decided to let the attack in because I had the Ring of Fire.
Okay.
And here's the second one.
Okay. You have both your removals in hand, and we saw that you have another one, the back to dist.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Viking with 0 attack is not a scary Viking.
And we have the Pilgrim on the board, the second Pilgrim, to start buffing, hopefully, your spider.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just considering that if I attack the sacrifice tower, he's going to sacrifice the chum blocker that has 0 attack. So there wasn't actually any point in me attacking the sacrifice tower.
But now you can get a lot of power for the Jurigomo, I think it was called, the spider.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just let the attack go.
Yep.
Oh, yet another removal. Okay, you're full with removals for this game, and that's something that you really need against the Vikings, because their goal is to have as much units on the battlefield as possible. And you already have your endgame cards, so yeah, it's going pretty well for you at this point.
Yeah, like everything just started, just the puzzle, you know.
Yeah. And and you will use your second ring of fire.
Yeah, Thor is also kind of scary.
Yeah. The deal with the Vikings, with the Norse mythology, with playing with Odin, is that you really need to keep their board small, because if they manage to put a lot of units on the battlefield, with Odin's ability, it can get really scary really fast.
Yeah. Here I'm attacking the sacrifice tower because now I have good targets.
Yeah.
And I'm not benefiting from Hachiman, but I really needed to get this attack through.
Yeah. And again, you had the bug with where you couldn't play the samurai.
Yeah, it would have been nice, but I think he made a mistake here blocking, because he lost one endurance from the blocker that he didn't intend to sacrifice, and then sacrifice the other creatures. So a better call, I think, in my opinion, would be just to let the attack in and sacrifice
one of the units. Yeah.
One of the units.
Yeah. And you have the winning card from your previous game, the seppuku.
Yeah.
And a lot of nice cards in hand. By that time, I was watching Teodor's hand, and it wasn't good. Not as good as yours. Yeah, but he managed to build some presence on the board, and now you have to handle that.
Yeah, I'm just going to buff my spider again.
Okay.
And another samurai.
Yeah, trying to build a presence yourself. Yeah, I guess you didn't play it Timeless Eon because... Oh, you will sacrifice the samurai. Interesting. Okay, nice. Why did you do that? To make her...
I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
Oh, yo, I know, because if I didn't sacrifice it, this stack wouldn't have gone through, because he has 9 on the board.
Oh,
and
okay.
if he decided to block with all the units,
yeah.
he would have just stopped the attack, and I wanted the attack for the... yeah.
Yeah, he's playing one of his tricks, Shade of Woki, with combination with you died. Shade of Woki reduces the adjacent unit's power by the power with the power of your target, and then he played you died on your target.
Yeah, crushing move.
Yeah, and now you basically don't have a board.
Have anything.
And he's back in the game, kind of, with this attack and the buff that he will get from Odin now for attacking with 2 units. And yeah, it's good that you have all those removals to play them.
Yep, and it's just going to be almost a board clear here.
Yeah. And yeah, that's really nice situation. I think at this point, Teodor, JiNn didn't want to play to build a big board presence, because he was sure that you have the spell that wipes the board. And that's why he was playing this war game, not trying to put everything on the board. And here he is making some small, let's say, attack. And yeah, he kept a lot of fate. He kept 8 fate. And no defender, so I think that he is biting you here too.
Yeah, at this point I was thinking if he had the board clear or not. So at this time I didn't want to play my my samurai that was like a game winner for me. I just decided to go with a smaller unit to see if I can get him to play the board clear here.
Yeah.
And as I can see, I've had Leto.
Yeah.
I missed Leto. Yeah, because he had no defenders, and I could have attacked with my leader
Yeah.
and the dog.
And you could have won. And the yeah, I remember that moment when we were talking with him later, and he was like, I hope that he didn't summon his leader because it's a win. But yeah, he just played the board wipe, and the leader is not affected by the board wipe, and at this point you could have won.
Yeah.
And here was one of his mistakes, in my opinion, because with the dwarf gets +1 extra power when you when he gets power, he gets +1 extra power. So he had the tamed direwolf in hand for another 4 fate, and the dwarf could have been on 5 power just by playing the tamed direwolf. No, 4 power by playing the tamed direwolf, and then he had another unit for 2 fate that buffs all units to get +1 additional power, and the dwarf could have been on 6 power with 2 endurance, but again then he would have had 3 units on the battlefield, and it would have been really scary for you. But again, he was he thought that you have the same spell,
Yeah,
and
board clear.
the board clear, and there will be no comeback for him if he played all those cards. But yeah, if he had done it, it would have been really scary for you. Hard to handle that. But yeah, you didn't see your Leto, so
Yeah, it happens. And here's Fenrir.
yeah, Fenrir putting some pressure on. And as you can see, Teodor is playing almost the whole game with just 1 tempo remaining, but still manages to make some moves to keep the game going, which is really, really nice. And now you have Juboko, you have a lot of good cards, and yeah, Teodor, JiNn don't have a lot of high-end game cards. He just had like starter cards, but yeah.
I was saving my leader for not my leader, but my mythic card for the end of the game because of the board wipe. And if he could have, if he did board wipe it as he did, I could have restored some defenders because of his ability to summon another spearman.
Yeah,
And currently I'm building a defense with the spearman, and I'm trying to build a strong offense in the samurai himself.
yeah, cool.
And at this point, I wanted him to attack me. So Fenrir could have just left the battlefield with his 1 endurance.
Yeah. And yeah, let's see what happens here. I think he's really considering whether he should attack you or not. But yeah, we have Odin on the battlefield again, with just 6 health points. That's taking some time. Yeah, as I said, there were no timers for those games because all the players were, let's say, newbies for the game, and everyone was just trying to figure out what's going on. And yeah, that's why we decided to disable the timers, so anyone can take as much time as needed. And yeah, this is the final, and it's normal to take your time and think all your moves. And he played the dwarf that buffs another dwarf or Viking for +2 power. And yeah, he's trying to reduce your board. I think that at this point, if you find a way to remove Fenrir from the board, it's a game for you, because it will be hard for anyone to stop the samurai.
Yeah, the challenge, and he has challenge, meaning
Yeah.
he can only get 1 defender, which is which was my game plan. And here I just let the tower go because he could not farm it anymore to clear my board.
Yeah.
And just sacrificing just a samurai.
Yeah, but slowly, attack by attack, Teodor managed to destroy 2 of your temples while having just 1. So it was, really, really nice place from him. And you both performed really well for the final, and it's a really nice game, just as any final should be.
Yeah.
So
it was a great game.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get some bodies on the board so I can defend my final tower.
Yeah.
And here I'm going for the Q of Fenrir. I'm just wanting him to block me because my samurai will stay another round while Fenrir will fall. And if he does not actually
Work
defend,
with Fenrir, he will lose the game.
yeah.
And I think at this point, because we are still improving the visuals and we don't have description of the keywords or the abilities. And at this point, I came to you, I remember, and asked you, can I just tell him remind him that your samurai has a challenge? Because, and you were like, I'm a honorable samurai, of course, go and tell him. And and this was really important because I think at this point Teodor forgot about the challenge keyword.
Yeah, and if he chose a different defender, it would have been a game over for him.
Yeah.
And here things are looking pretty good for me.
You managed to made enough pressure to force him to walk with Fenrir now. And he is again in defense mode with his tower with just 1 HP remaining. Okay.
There's no more board wipes here because there are only 1 of in AG deck.
Yeah. And you played it and he played it, Oh no, you haven't played yours, But you played both your Ring of Fires and the Timeless Eon, so...
Yeah, and both of my Wolfsbane.
Yeah.
So that was all the removal I had in my deck.
Yeah. So good thing that he didn't have more board presence. So he played one of his Vikings that summons another Viking, and I think he's trying to... Oh, okay. He's playing the Test of Fate, which gives all attacking units, not leaders, +1 power. And he's trying to force you to block that attack.
Yeah, if I didn't block it,
it's a GG.
Yeah.
He was hoping that he won't see it. But
yeah, just making the attack fizzle. And here's the board wipe we were speaking of.
At this point, I think you have multiple ways you can win. You can use the board wipe and then summon your leader and just attack, or you can just attack with the samurai and he will get +2 power. And I think that there is no way he can defend that.
Yeah, and there's nothing he could have done. As soon as he gave me the turn, I knew it was game over because of the challenge.
Yeah, you managed to make a lot of pressure in the early game. Then Teodor managed to stop you for a little bit and delay the game. But at the end, with that Massage Wood Strider, you managed to win the game. So, yeah, congratulations for winning our first tournament. And actually, the finalists get a small cash prize, and the winner, our champion for our first tournament, gets the in-game title Demigod. And if he managed to collect 5 Demigod titles, he will get the God title. And the only way you can get the Demigod title is by winning one of our tournaments. So we will have a lot of those in the future. And the other thing is that you will be able to design a card. And not any card, but a leader from your faction. So have you spent some time thinking about that already?
Yeah, I have a couple of ideas.
Okay, that's great.
And should I say?
Yeah, just spoil the audience.
And what I'm thinking of, because I'm in love with ninjas, and
Okay.
just the whole idea of ninjas, and what's a better god for ninjas than the god of the moon, which is Amaterasu's brother.
Oh, nice. Okay,
And yeah, that's just an idea that I've had in the last couple of days.
cool. Okay, that's great. And here we have another, let's call it surprise. We will also, because the card that you will design will be the third leader for the Japanese, and the other factions will have just 2 leaders, which is not cool. And this is why here we are announcing that the second player for the tournament, which is Teodor JiNn Mirchev, will also have a chance to design a card for the Norse faction. Again, a leader for the Norse faction. And the only faction currently in the game with no representative are the Greeks. They were really underrepresented for the tournament. I think we had like
2. No, we had 2.
2 players.
Yeah.
One of those players switched the mythology and started playing with something else. And that's why for the Greeks, the man who will design the leader for the Greeks will be Megas Alexandros, which is the player with the highest score in our pre-launch challenges. So yeah, expect really soon the next wave of leaders for the game and the next mythology, and also a lot of bug fixes, and also our closed alpha. We're going on schedule, and hopefully you will have a chance to put your hands on the game in a week or 2. So yeah, a lot of links in the description, so if you need to get more information about anything, just go and read. So bye for now.